All right. Hey, everyone. A Schaeffer Cox supporter sent me an email indicating that the United States Department of Justice is taking emails about Schaeffer Cox. And I thought I would put this up on YouTube. You too can take this. I'll put it in the comment section or the description section. And you can create your own email. If you want to use this as a form, you certainly can. The email address is criminal.division@usdoj.gov. But it also gives a phone number, and I'm going to read my email that I got from this Schaeffer Cox supporter. I changed it up just a bit, and then I'll call that number, and let's see what happens. But the email states, the United States Department of Justice is taking emails about Schaeffer at criminal.division@usdoj.gov. Please send a brief letter or call them at 202-514-2000. We're going to do that here in a second. Here's the note I sent earlier. It doesn't have to be very long or involved. To whom it may concern, and U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. I write to you today as a friend of Francis Schaeffer Cox, 16179-006, who I believe has been entrapped and falsely convicted by the corrupt Polar Pen Team in Alaska. The same corrupt prosecutors who falsely convicted Senator Ted Stevens directed a federal investigation into Schaeffer's activities that eventually led to a conviction on conspiracy to murder charges and a 26-year prison sentence. I wish you to look into this case. There are many reasons to review it, not the least of which is that Cox was targeted by the Southern Poverty Law Center and for perfectly meeting the definition of the Napolitano DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and its report on homegrown terrorism, 2009. As he is a Christian believer, a Second Amendment activist, a right-to-life advocate, a Ron Paul supporter, believes in strong states' rights, the Constitution, and the rule of God's law over man's law. There is also documented proof that any conspiracy or plan was promoted by federal confidential informants, informant infiltrators, and thwarted by Cox. There are many violations of exculpatory evidence being withheld from the jury at trial and credible analysis that Cox was deprived of his right to due process of law. Link to appeal in brief. I'll make sure I put that link in there. I don't think it's in there now. Link to most recent press release written by the prisoner, recorded by members of his support group. Link to a speech by Cox, reason for the launch of the FBI investigation, and a link to an interview on a John B. Wells show, which reveals the personal aspects. So thank you, Rudy Davis. So let's call this number and just see what happens. I don't know that anybody will answer this time of night, but we can certainly leave a voicemail.
The United States Department of Justice. If you would like information on how to reach the Department of Justice website, press 1. If you would like information on how to email the Department of Justice, press 2. If you would like information on the mailing address for the Department of Justice, press 3. If you would like to leave a message in the Attorney General comment line, press 4. If you would like to speak with the Department of Justice operator, press 0. To hear these options again, press 4.
Thank you for calling. You have reached the Department of Justice public comment line. Your opinion is valuable to us, and any comments you make will be considered. However, we cannot return telephone calls made to this number. If you have a critical law enforcement issue, please contact your local police or the Office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in your area. If you would like to write to us, our address is Office of the Attorney General, U.S. Department of Justice, Washington, D.C., 20530. Again, thank you for calling. Please leave your comment after the tone.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hello, my name is Rudy Davis. I'm a Bible-believing follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. I have spent thousands of hours looking into the case of Schaeffer Cox. He's currently being held in Marion, Illinois, CMU prison. His prison number is 16179-006. The prosecutor that the lead prosecutor in the Schaeffer Cox case was the same lead prosecutor that falsely convicted Senator Ted Stevens. You guys may remember that. Judge Emmett Sullivan overturned the conviction because the prosecution was withholding exculpatory evidence and using known perjured testimony from a pedophile named Bill Allen. Senator Dan Sullivan said he was going to look into that and ensure that the prosecution was held accountable. And there was also a special prosecution named Hank Schulke that they sent in to look into the situation. The bottom line is that we have a young American patriot who was falsely targeted by Department of Homeland Security. Janet Napolitano released a domestic terrorism report, and it was anybody that believed in the Second Amendment, the Constitution, pro-life. Schaeffer Cox fit that profile. He was also exposing the pedophiles up in Alaska, one of which is Bill Allen, who is the CEO of Vico Oil Company. You can look into this. There's been books written about it. So please look into the case of Schaeffer Cox, who's being held in Marion, Illinois prison. I pray that you do the right thing and we don't let an innocent young American man who is a father of two beautiful children. He was married, but when they threw him in prison and they've destroyed this family for the past...
Maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
So remember the name, Francis Schaeffer Cox, prison number 16179-006. He is an innocent man in prison. Please look into his case. I think he's innocent. I really think you ought to look into this case and don't let this injustice stand any longer than it already has been.
Maximum length for a recording. To send this message, press pound or hang up. To play, your message has been sent. If you would like to try an extension, you may...
All right, you guys heard me do it. I hope you do it yourself. Let's flood 202-514-2000 with comments about Schaeffer Cox. Let's flood them with comments about Shiler Barbeau. Let's Ed and Elaine Brown. I mean, let's just every day just call this number and just leave tons and tons of comments. The email address, if you want to use my form letter, criminal.division@usdoj.gov. So we can send both an email and leave a voicemail. Thank you for your time. Please do as the Lord leads, and I pray that it's to take action. Thank you.